Hi, my name is Claire, and today we're answering the question, why do autistic people always step over the line? So please, stick around. Hi friends, my name is Claire and this is my channel. What's your theory? Here, I make content about what it is like to live as an adult on the autism spectrum and whatever else feels good to me. So if that sounds good to you, or if you're feeling particularly gracious today, and I hope that you are, please go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell. I almost forgot to mention that I put out videos 3 times a week. The line, what is it? And why do autistic people insist on crossing it? As a person on the spectrum, I've spent my life not knowing when too much is too much. I have constantly been in the situation where things were happening, people were communicating, and then I say something and everything gets quiet. Then someone whispers, "Whoa, that's too far." Or, "Hey, you crossed a line." Over the years, especially pre-diagnosis, this really bothered me. I would think that things were going well, that I was being funny or just being honest. Then all of a sudden, I had done or said something wrong. I had ruined the social interaction that I was having. I had alienated myself from the group once again. ASD is at its core a communication disorder. Now, I am not a medical doctor and I don't have a PhD in autism spectrum, condition, disorder, autism. So these are just my thoughts as an autistic person. But I wanted to talk about this idea of crossing the line, saying things that are inappropriate. Why do we do it? What's up with that? I'm going to try my best to explain my thoughts on the situation. If you have thoughts on the situation, I would love for you to leave them in the comments because it really helps other people who are going through the same thing, and I love the community that we have here. So thank you. First, crossing the line is a problem in ASD because ASD people don't have a built-in social instruction booklet like neurotypical people do. Neurotypical people are wired in such a way that for the most part, social cues come naturally to them. Therefore, when they sense an incoming taboo topic or something that would be considered too far, they are more likely or able to back away from it with intention. Because of this, if they do cross the line or go too far, it's usually done on purpose. And that usually puts neurodiverse people in a bad light because when we cross the line or go too far, it's almost always unintentionally or without our knowledge. It is only when we are told that we have crossed the line or receive an obvious adverse reaction to our language or behavior that we know that we have done or said something untoward. Additionally, when we are engaging in a conversation that we have identified as a joke, we will not know when things stop being a joke and stop being mean or too far. We just assume that the entire conversation is part of the joke, so leaning further and further into the joke must mean that things are getting funnier, not wrong or hurtful to another person. Second, this line is not finite. ASD people exist in a world that is typically black and white. It is a world of the literal. Obviously, there is no literal line when I am talking about the line. The line is a philosophical marker that should not be crossed, not a physical barrier. Because you can't see this line, and because there are no road signs that a line is being approached, it is very difficult for a neurodiverse people to see or notice that the line is coming. We are simply going along for the journey and continue the forward motion until we have inevitably taken it to a step too far or a step over the line. We are asked to sense a barrier that can't be seen and can really only be sensed by a neurotypical brain, making it almost impossible for us to get this type of social interaction correct. Simply put, we have line blindness. Third, ASD people don't read social cues. To us, there is no stopping point in a joke or conversation that says, too far. The line doesn't exist because our brain isn't wired that way. Our brains are wired to concern themselves with truth and correctness over feelings. Oftentimes, when we engage in these social situations where we go too far, we're really out of our league. I would liken it to swimming past the buoys and out into open water without a life vest. We can swim, but not well. When it gets to the point where things are in danger mode, we are unaware and keep trying to swim until we start to drown and mess up. It's almost like a frog being boiled to death in a pot. We will continue to sit in the pot because we don't have the internal sense that something harmful is happening or about to happen. In this case, we don't sense that a line is being drawn in the conversation or that the line is starting to develop. And fourth, our filter. I often hear people say that those on the spectrum don't have a filter. I've spent my life hearing this about myself. I think this ties into the over-the-line rhetoric. As ASD people, we are only concerned with truth or justice for the most part, and therefore to us, these things equal kindness and caring. Again, that is honesty, truth, justice. These are the things that show people that we care. However, this is not how a neurotypical tends to function, because in the neurotypical brain, the way someone feels usually comes first. And to a neurotypical, this will often come at the cost of truth, honesty, and justice. So all of this being said, do I have a solution to this line blindness issue? Well, yes and no. I have over the years gotten better at what is too far or over the line. A lot of this has been because I have taken a big step back from social situations and friendships altogether. But that really doesn't solve the problem. In this case, we would call that avoiding the situation, and that isn't necessarily a helpful solution as we aren't growing, but instead removing ourselves from harm's way. Here are a few things that have helped me. First, slowing down and evaluating the situation. Because I know neurotypicals are more sensitive to this line, I try not to make comments beyond that of what the neurotypicals around me are making, because they are more likely to know how far is too far than I am. So yes, I use the neurotypicals around me as a litmus test for how far I should push a joke or a topic. 2, know your audience. If I am aware that I am surrounded by neurodiverse people, I know that I can be more literal and straightforward in my interactions. Otherwise, I know that I need to think about feelings first before truth, etc. Finally, it's okay to make mistakes and to apologize. I know because of my communication differences, I am bound to make mistakes sometimes. So instead of excusing myself from society, I just make it a point to apologize if someone has let me know that I have crossed the line or gone too far. I take that information and then use it to grow for next time. My brain is different. It is always going to be different, and I cannot change that. What I can change is my awareness, and what I can control is my attitude towards the situation. It isn't always my job to make others feel super comfortable around me with how I communicate, but it certainly does help in the long run as I develop and maintain relationships. Well, that's really everything I wanted to say about the line and why ASD people always cross it and what I have done in my life to help myself around it. What do you think? Do you ever have any issues going too far in a conversation, saying the wrong thing, crossing the line, taking a step too far? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me an awful lot with these videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!